and we are about to start up here. Can we get both players on the screen ready to start? And I'll give the players a countdown here. We worked out the timing for the actual timer on stream starting, so hopefully this should work out correctly, even if I'm a bit delayed here. So we should be good to go. Players in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yay.
All right. So first thing going on right here is actually quitting out to the menu to skip a cutscene here. So it's just a quick little time save.
It also puts you forward in the level too. It puts you to the next checkpoint. So
Really?
It skips some gameplay.
Okay, so we're skipping a little bit there just by quitting out to the menu. Some background on this. This is any percent. Actually, right off the bat, we have SpeedinSam getting a bit ahead here with being able to skip a text box. A lot of Tahu's level here is trying to skip these text boxes as they come up.
Yeah, Cowminn unfortunately didn't make that, so he fell in the lava and had to read it. And Sam's coming up on another text skip. If this cutscene doesn't end early, if you see the laser, then yeah, he made it. So that just skips more text boxes, more direct movement.
Yeah, and that's most of the tech that you'll be seeing in Tahu's level is trying to take sort of weird routes to go around these triggers for the text boxes. There is one major skip that I don't believe these runners will be going for just because it's so
almost certainly not.
Yeah, it's so weird and unreliable at this point. Not a lot is known about it, but Tahu skip is what that is.
I'll talk a little bit more about that when they get closer to that area.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, SpeedinSam does have a nice early lead.
So right now, what's mainly happening objective-wise is that each of these runners is trying to just make it through here, skipping the text boxes and also picking up the little Matoran characters here to be able to progress. The light stones themselves are really just points and percentage tracking and don't actually, they're not actually needed to progress or anything. It's all about picking up the Matoran.
Yeah, so there's just a little cutscene right there where you talk to Kua the Chronicler, and he kind of explained that you can plug 5 Matoran to open a door. You're going to watch the cutscene again. But there's actually a pretty big skip that saves over 2 minutes called Tahu skip, and we still haven't figured out how to do it super consistently, but you can click through some rocks and hop through that door. It might just be able to be done on like PAL PS2 or something like that. I don't know, it's really weird.
Yeah, it's still very much in the stage of trying to figure out things about it.
But yeah, this whole part is basically them just getting enough Matoran to open that door. So if you can go through that door, it saves a lot.
So we're going to see here sort of death warp here. There's a death warp here that I don't quite recall. Does it actually save a substantial amount of time, or is it really just more optional?
I'm not sure if it's been tested. It seems kind of personal preference. Some people go for it, some people don't. So you can walk into the lava there and it'll spawn you by the door.
It's looking like Sam did not take it. We'll see it.
I think they both prefer it.
Yeah, it's looking like Cowminn's not doing it either.
So Sam's at kind of the mini-boss fight here, and it's a good thing he didn't crash. I mean, it's not a common crash, but I have crashed here before, so I always get a little worried. But basically all you want to do is you want to defeat these 4 scorpion Nimijaga things, and you do that by killing them or crushing them with the pillars. So he's going to go around and try to knock those pillars down. You can get trolled a little bit, because your energy bolts will kind of auto-lock on to the nearest enemy, so sometimes they'll like curve way around. But Sam was able to do that with little problems.
Yeah, crashes in this game are something that are a bit sketch and are a bit of a concern. Like we mentioned, there's the one that can happen here, although it's uncommon. There's also, I believe, in Onua's level, correct? There's some potential for that as well. We'll see what happens when we get to that point.
I think Sam didn't realize the cutscene was over for a couple seconds there.
Oof.
You can actually skip that cutscene in the same way that they did at the beginning of the level, where you just quit and reload the level, but that only works on PS2. I don't know why, but it doesn't work on game, which is what these guys are running on. Anyways, this is the Bow Rock fight. This is where the attack is good routine. It's pretty simple. You just let them roll around, wait for them to be vulnerable.
Yeah, and there's some RNG in this as well on how the Borak here are going to be reacting, what actions are going to be taking, whether they burrow into the ground or not. If I'm correct, we don't want them to burrow into the ground, right?
Yeah, the burrowing attack is a little bit slower because they go into the ground and then they pop out later. You can actually kill them, like finishing the fight when they're like in the middle of doing the burrowing animation, and then they like just waste a few extra seconds before the fight actually ends. So that's what you really. So yeah, that actually happened here. Like you saw that Borak was dead, but it took a few seconds for the fight to end because it was still doing its attack.
Akrana.
Yeah, we get to hear some of the wonderful voice acting in this game here.
I must tell the others. Chronicler, sightseeing, are you?
It's pretty beautiful.
I was investigating the totems and saw a great Kanoe mask floating on the lava.
You should return to the Koro. It's dangerous here.
So that's pretty much it for Taku's level.
Yeah, next we're going to be moving on to Kopaka, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. See, I'm remembering things about this game.
There are 8-ish levels total. Yeah, I mean the last level kind of has 2 parts, but there's one for each of the 6 Toa. Taku has 2 levels, and then
there isn't much time.
Takanuba.
Mm-hmm.
Kopaka's level is kind of unique though. Most of it is like snowboarding. I don't think you actually walk around at all.
Okay, so the entire thing is like this then? Yeah, I know the boss is also in the middle of a segment like this. I understand there's a little bit of debate on the merits of first-person view. As we can see, Cowminn is going to be going in first person for a lot of this, while Sam is not. It seems to be more personal preference than anything, but there's some wild debate on
yeah,
that actually makes it
as
faster.
far as I know, it doesn't save any time, but Cowminn says it's faster. Sam prefers not to do it, so I don't know. We'll see who wins.
Yeah, we'll see if Cowminn suddenly takes a spontaneous lead. We'll know.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Just snowboarding. Don't run into enemies. Don't run into walls. There's little boosts you can go through, so you want to go through those when possible. Again, light stones don't matter, so you can pick those up, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and then the rings that are going through here are just a small speed boost.
And that thing that's kind of flashing at the bottom is a timer. It's counting in like Matoran numbers, but it's not too much of a worry. It's pretty rare that you're actually going to be slow enough that you lose time. Lose to the... But you can see it counting down there. Very
We'll also see coming up here, there's going to be a Borak boss fight that we fight, in a race format like that, and that's also one where it's possible to lose just by not going fast enough.
Yeah, a few of those in this level.
It's almost as if they knew this game would be played by
The
speedrunners.
Borak has burrowed through that cliff. I
And
fear
yeah, you
it's
can kind
heading
of see
for
them jumping
Kokoro.
over the hill at the end, just to save a little time. So that's the first part of this level.
Yeah, and just checking in here, it's looking like Sam has quite a bit of a lead here over Cowminn, but we'll see what happens going forward from here.
Yeah, definitely plenty of opportunities to catch up. And you'll notice that both of them go into first person here, but that's actually forced. In this cave here, you're forced to go into first person, and that's the only time. Otherwise, you can choose to do it, and again, that's just personal preference.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing that happening on Cowminn's side as well. Or which one? No, on Sam's side as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
See, now I'm confusing it.
Yeah, I think Cowminn's on the left and Sam is on the right.
Yeah.
So this is the first boss or mini boss or whatever you want to call it. There's 2 Borak fights in this level. And the Borak are invincible when they're rolling on the ground, so what you have to do is you have to hit them with your shield, which pops them up in the air. And then ideally you want to hit them 3 times. And in total you have to hit them 8 times.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, there is a time limit. Basically, if you get to the end of the area without having killed the boss, you have to start over.
Yeah. So you just kind of want to avoid hills and try and go as quick as possible.
Kopaka, Toa of Ice, you have saved our Koro, and we thank you. Alas, the sworn leader has escaped.
And
fleeing down
also,
the mountain.
with all of this, you're sort of working within the constraints of like your elemental power meter, which is going down every time you shoot a little blast. We'll see some really funny stuff happening towards the end of the game with regarding that with Takanuva.
So this is the third part of the level. There's kind of 4 parts in this level. There's the initial snowboarding section, there's the first Borak, there's the rock, and then there's the second Borak. So this is the big boulder. It's rolling down after you and shooting little mini rocks. And these mini rocks are actually kind of hard to avoid. They're consistent pattern though, so if you know when they're coming, it's not too bad. And you can just usually hug the left side.
Yeah, you'll see both runners here are actually just sort of hugging the left side, and that's actually allowing them to dodge most of these entirely outright. So
you can see that Sam is hugging the wall a little bit closer though, and because of that, the boulder's a little bit closer to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like safer, but not quite as fast at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Cowminn's being a little bit riskier, but you really don't want to get hit by those rocks because it's really easy to get comboed by them. And basically, if you get hit by 3 in a row, you're just dead and have to restart.
Mm-hmm.
The Borak has fled into that cave.
So, on to the last part here. There's a little bit of a snowboarding section, and then the Borak fight will be beginning.
Are there any major differences between this fight and the last Borak fight, or is it just the same general idea?
This one is a little bit harder. The red Borak, the Tanak, will shoot at you, and he does some more attacks to you. Like there's a little like electric spike in the ground attack, but hopefully we won't see. But you saw there that he shot at Sam after he did his 3 attacks. And this one is a little bit harder too, because there's points where he'll just go into the ground and bury, or he'll like bury into the ground, and there's nothing you can do about that. Like here, he always buries after the river there.
You can't really pop him out or anything to hit him again.
Yeah. Ideally, you want to kill him before that. But I mean, he didn't make it to the village, so that's a success.
Yeah, that's really the real important part for this, because that's a huge time loss if you don't end up killing the boss in time and it makes it all the way to the village.
Yeah, there's a long cutscene and then it just goes back and restarts. But they both made it.
And now
so
we're
on to the third level.
Yeah, now we're moving on to Golly's level here. Golly's level is pretty unique. It's got some interesting movement mechanics with actually like swimming through the water here. It's another level where you're trying to collect the Matoran as you go, but instead of just sort of running and jumping, you're swimming and doing a lot of crazy stuff jumping out of the water here. So we'll see some really interesting stuff going on here.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Back in Taku's level, there's 5 Matoran you have to get, and it's pretty much impossible to avoid them. They really lay them out for you. But here in Golly's level, there's 15 Matoran, and you need 13. So you can kind of choose which ones you want to get. There's a few different routes.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they've actually been working on a couple of new routes. So
it's exciting.
Yeah. Oh, this level is a little bit funky with some of the swimming mechanics. When you are holding the swim button, which like makes you swim straight forward, and you do a jump against a wall, you'll kind of get a boost up into the air. Like you'll kind of just ride the wall up. So you'll see that come into play a couple times just to skip some platforming and such.
Yeah, that allows you to jump up way higher than you normally would be able to and be able to skip some platforms that would normally be your route up. Save a little bit of time with that.
Yeah, like you can see Sam do it there. I think they're actually going to be doing different routes, because I think I remember Cowminn saying he wasn't going for these Matoran. Also, this is where, yeah, they are doing different routes. But also, this is where a new mechanic is going to come into play. They're turned into the Toa Nuva now, so they have a new attack, which is the Nuva Blast. And you need to be at full elemental energy for that. So you need like that full orange bar. And then you have to charge for a couple seconds and then release it. And that destroys those pink cages.
Yeah, and it's a little risky, right? Because if you get interrupted during it or if you fail it, then you lose that energy.
Yeah, it won't do the attack, and then you will just have to recharge all your energy. And it takes a while to recharge energy.
Yeah, you can recharge it without really doing anything. It's just a dedicated action where you're just sort of standing there and recharging, but it just takes a lot of time. It's a real bummer during a speed run.
Sam's about to do a little skip there. You're normally supposed to go kind of around the back there, but he climbed on some barrels and jumped up the wall to get that Matoran a little faster than he should be able to. So now he's going to go for the Nuva Blast here that I was talking about, where you charge for a couple seconds. And he goes around the back there to be sure that he doesn't get hit by the enemies. Now he's actually doing out of bounds. Like I said, there's a lot of interesting swimming mechanics in this level. So just T-posing into the next area.
It's actually looking... we seeing Cowminn taking a lead here?
Possibly. Right? Remember, he is doing a different route. I think he skipped 1 or 2 of the Matoran that Sam got.
Okay, so we're going to need to see then a bit later in this... later in this level to see whether this is something that actually changes sort of who's ahead, who's in the lead, by how much.
Right. Yeah, Sam got a Matoran that was up on the bridge there. Or, sorry, Cowminn got a Matoran that was on the bridge that Sam didn't have to get. But they both need 13 Matoran to go to the next area with the boss fight.
There we go. Sam finally making it up that wall.
Yeah, very good geometry.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think Sam is all 13 Matoran here.
Yeah, Sam's got 13. Cowminn, I believe, has 12 at the moment. Actually, I may have missed one.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pay attention to both. Mm-hmm. So not too far apart here now. Probably about 10 seconds apart. But they're going to the Bow Rock Hall fight. Pretty intense boss fight.
Can I just say, I love this mechanical whale. This is beautiful.
Organic submarine. So this is the Bow Rock Hall fight. He's going to charge a Nuva Blast and he's going to kill them all.
And done.
Over.
That is such a fun fight to watch. Just because they all like perfectly align themselves so that you can one-shot all of them.
Yeah, thanks Nuva Blast. That's like the one time that you actually use the Nuva Blast as an attack.
As opposed to just breaking a barrier.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to be used again, actually. I think you can do it with Onua and maybe Lua. You might even be able to do it with Pohatu too, but
Speaking of
don't
Pohatu,
really-
we are now in Pohatu's level, and we have a big sort of cutscene skip going on here. So you can see each of our runners are actually just sort of running along the side of the wall there, and that allows them to jump across and over a cutscene trigger here and move on to sort of the meat of the level faster.
Yeah, saves about 30 seconds there, so they both got that. Good.
Yeah, and the big part of the level here is going to be a big minecart section. There's really no normal combat at all in Pohatu's level. It's all just this minecart mini game.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because he can shoot and stuff, but there's
He
not really
doesn't.
any reason for him to do. I guess he shoot a little bit in the minecart section, but
Yeah, in the minecart section, you basically got to get through by hitting all these red and green lights to progress, and then also be keeping your elemental energy up the entire time. And it can get pretty tricky with the timing on a lot of these things.
Let's go.
yeah, so there's 6 switches that he needs to hit as they go through. And if you miss one of those, then you just have to do the whole thing over again, which is obviously a huge time waste, so
What could possibly go wrong?
neither of them.
Right?
And you can actually hit one of the switches early. I think Sam's going to try to go for it here.
It doesn't really save much
Yeah.
time, though, does it?
No, it doesn't save any time, but I guess it's just kind of
It's
a little bit
swag.
safer. I don't know.
Okay, safer.
Just one less game to miss later. But yeah, basically all there is to this is not running into obstacles, keeping your elemental energy up, because your minecart runs on your orange meter, your elemental energy. So he's trying to collect all these green boosts or whatever as we go through. And then also you're going to see them jumping a lot as they go up hills, and that preserves a little bit of your momentum.
Yeah,
I actually
jumping
didn't
up.
realize it saves so much time until Cowminn showed me the other day.
Yeah, jumping up these hills here. Normally when you're just traveling up the hill as normal, you are slowing down a lot. But when you jump, you don't actually hit that slowdown. You're just keeping that same momentum, and that's why that's such a huge time save there.
Most of the obstacles aren't too difficult to avoid, though. There's one section that's coming up pretty soon here. There's like 4 guys in a row with axes or whatever, and you kind of have to destroy their axes, or I think you can jump over them too. But it's pretty difficult, and your shots don't always want to line up. So I think they're going to be both slowing down for this part just to make sure that their shots do hit. Because I see it knocks you back like that.
Yeah, Sam had tried to jump over it but mistimed it, so he got knocked back a ton.
And it is really easy in this time. Yeah, like you can see Cowminn ran into a couple there too. It's a lot harder than it looks. It just doesn't want to go. But Sam got all 6 locks. We'll see Cowminn will too. Sam is all done with the money.
And that's pretty much the end of Pohatu's level. Did we just see?
Yeah, Sam just crashed.
Yeah, I crashed.
Oh no.
Ooh,
I auto save to save.
okay.
I didn't know that you could crash there.
I've never crashed there before.
Is it the save?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, you were at the end of level anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we're going back to muted.
That's never happened before.
Yeah, that's all first.
Obligatory.
All right. So shouldn't be too much of a loss then. We're not going to have him replay the level or anything because he did complete it. So we're just going to be loading a safety save from after that point. Though we are seeing a pretty sizable lead from Cowminn. Just being able to get through this cutscene faster. While we
Actually, they're like tied, pretty much.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like exactly tied.
It is on the dot.
But
While
they're pretty
we-
close at the end of the minecart level, so I'll go to them.
While we go into Onua's level, I just want to shout out real quick. At LEGOthon, we are raising money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and we are currently at $590 raised, which is absolutely fantastic. It would be great if we could get to $600 tonight. That would be absolutely huge for this, so get on that, people. So
yeah.
Onua's level.
Yeah, or pushing rocks the level. That's a lot of what this level is. It's walking around kind of similar to Tahu's level. There's some enemies and stuff, but a lot of it is just pushing rocks into the switches.
What is it with these Bionicle games and pushing rocks around?
I know,
we saw,
isn't it
we
the
saw it
best?
earlier. We saw it earlier with Bionicle GBA.
I said it before, it's a staple of Bionicle games.
Yeah, when
It's
that
a Bionicle game,
when
you
that
see someone pushing a rock.
yeah, back when that absolutely perfect runner was speedrunning Bionicle GBA so excellently,
Yeah, who was that guy? Very
I
cool.
don't know, some nerd.
I hope we get to see some more runs from him in the future.
Yeah, I think he's also doing a Motonui online game tomorrow. Just stay tuned for that.
Anyways, speaking of crashes though, Onua's level does have a couple, I guess, infamous crashes. It never happened to me before, but I was talking to Cowminn and he said that they actually both crash somewhat often in a couple spots here. I think one of them is here actually that Sam's coming up on. So hopefully neither of them crash on this level. I had actually never crashed in this game until like a couple weeks ago. I was just doing a run to kind of de-rust or whatever. That was when I crashed at Tahu's level. But apparently there are some more that can just happen.
Yeah, I know Cowminn had been showing off some of the places where that can happen when we were practicing this earlier. Yeah, there's a few places in this level where the game can just sort of say no. Yeah, and besides that, there's not too terribly much going on with Onua's level besides just sort of pushing these rocks around and trying to hope that the game doesn't crash on you.
Yeah.
These platforms, is this one where... Ooh, it actually fall in there. That's unfortunate. I believe at the end of those platforms is a potential crash, right? Or is that a different set?
Yeah, it's up near the spider or whatever, the second spider, or I guess third spider. I don't know the end of those platforms. Cowminn made it through the, I think they're called camera section. Those charging bulls, those can sometimes kill you too.
Yeah,
They can just one-shot you.
I know there's a bull rahi called a Muwaka, but other than that, I don't know about any others.
So we're actually coming up on a major skip here, Cowminn is. This is just what we call a new skip. You kind of clip out of bounds with that rock there. And he's just gonna T-pose out of bounds here again. He's gonna stay a little bit to the left so that the level actually loads when he goes over to the boss fight, but otherwise he's just gonna float on over there.
That T-pose, man.
I guess he had the mask of levitation all this time.
Oh, yeah. Crazy how that works. Yeah, so this is a pretty silly skip, but it does skip a lot here, being able to just sort of make your way through all this without having to do a lot of the actual level.
Yeah, I'd say the last third or so.
And he sort of
And he's
deposited...
taking the... Yeah, he's taking the safer route back in bounds here. You can skip this cutscene, and it like loads the fight, like he'll start attacking you too. But the alternative is to do a jump over the water. That's very difficult. I hate saying it's frame perfect without knowing that it's frame perfect, but I'm pretty sure it's frame perfect.
Yeah.
So I think he's just doing that to be safe for the marathon.
Yeah, he sort of deposited at the boss here, and the boss, there's actually quite a few different ways of handling this boss, different strategies here. Cowminn is going for just a strat of trying to push each of these rocks into the cannons as quickly as possible for each one, but I've also seen strategies where the runner will actually push all of them almost into the cannon. So he'll, go one trip around and push them all almost to that point, and then take another trip around and push them all in, you know, the little distance that's left, and that allows him to get 6 shots off very, very quickly.
Yeah. So I think this way that he's doing is a little bit faster, but there's kind of pluses and minuses to both ways. The other way is a little bit safer, I think, because if you do end up off of that cycle, I guess, you don't have to wait for them to all come around again, because they only open up one at a time. And then also, if you do go for the strat where you don't start the fight the normal way, he won't do any attacks until you actually launch your first boulder. So you just don't have to deal with those.
Yeah, so you can, you know, stay safe the entire time while you're, you know, setting up, and then, you know, you'll quickly, you know, just fire off all 6 shots. And we're now seeing Sam jump into that same boss fight here, while Cowminn is on a pretty sizable lead right now, going into Leiwa's level.
Even the boss fight is pushing rocks.
This is such a Bionicle game.
Yeah, Leiwa's level is really fun though. It's kind of got unique movement because Leiwa has like a gliding ability that none of the others except Takanuva have. And you get to do like some fun stuff like death warps, and there's a couple of cutscene skips and stuff. Right off the bat, I didn't mention it, but he did do a death warp to skip some movement.
Yeah,
and now he's just kind of on a rail section.
Yeah, these rails on the vines here is another pretty unique style of movement for Leiwa. So this is a really unique level here, and a unique style of movement for a lot of this. You'll see coming up soon, Leiwa is able to glide, and that, you know, opens up a lot of possibilities for, you know, for routing the level.
Yeah, and again, the goal of this is to collect Matoran. So he's trying to hit those as he goes past. And I think there is just 6 Matoran. I think you can't choose which ones you get. Oh, also another thing on this rail section, you can't shield. So sometimes you'll just get screwed by enemies.
And there's no way around that.
Yeah.
I love how they throw so many of these light stones at you. They're just not required to progress.
There's a little skip that you can do there to skip a couple of those vines, but I think Calma's just not going for it to be safe, because you can slide off of the... I don't blame him. It doesn't really save much time, but it's cool. And then another death warp.
Okay, so that was intentional there, being able to sort of immediately go into that cutscene right there.
Yep. Takes you all the way up. And then Sam just finished up the boss fight there, so he'll be going on to Leiwa's level now, too.
Deepwood. Sister Toa comes with a sorry bad tale.
Toalua, you know what news I bring?
The drums of Lekoro cry tell of...
Good to hear more of that glorious voice acting.
But without my Suva, I cannot reach the
It gets
Where are your
surreal
Matoran to
at the end of the
activate
run.
the
I'm
Suva?
just going to say that with some of the voice acting in this
You
game.
alone can find
Yeah, I'd say
them,
that's
Luanuva.
probably the worst one at the
Find
end.
them, free them, and use the Suva to hunt for these.
But yeah, you get to
Sons
see
of
some of
Makuta.
Leiwa's movement here now with his glide.
Mhm.
You can't glide for too long though. It's only like 2 seconds or something like that. So,
It still opens up routing a ton though, and I know there's even been cases where, you know, the fastest way to, you know, from point A to point B actually doesn't end up being the fastest, because you end up actually skipping triggers for the next part of the level to load. So you got to be careful and make sure that, you know, you're sort of at least trying to go the way that the game wants you to go, instead of, you know, always going for a straight line. I believe that's right around here, correct?
yeah, this area. There's a trigger that loads the next area. And so like you can skip all of these platforms that he's going on, like you can just go over to the tree right away. But then if you go up, there won't be any level to go to. It's just kind of a void. It is pretty cool though, because you can skip some platforms and stuff. There's some riskier strats than others.
Yeah, so this would be the area that just doesn't load if you didn't hit those platforms. Besides that, we're also going to see coming up soon a section where you sort of have to glide along with this bird. Some more interesting movement going on with that.
So you can see you skip that whole kind of left side there. There is actually a cutscene skip here, and I don't think he's going for it. But you can like die in a specific spot there, and then it won't play this cutscene when you get to the bottom. But the thing is, if you miss it, then you just have to redo the whole thing, so waste time. And I think they said that they didn't feel very confident on it, so probably not going for it. Gotta be safe in a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys are both very good. Cowminn got the world record, I don't think it was even a week ago.
Oh yeah, that was really recent. Yeah. We also saw the world record moving from, from PS2 to GameCube. Both of these runners are running on GameCube. And yeah, the previous world record was on PS2. That's pretty interesting. There's definitely, pluses and minuses to each platform, and the sort of discovery and further exploration of Tahu Skip may complicate that even more.
Yeah, again, that skip saves like 2.5 minutes or something like that. So if you can get that, it's, I don't want to say free world record, but it'll give you a good shot. And that's actually an intentional death that Cowminn went for here. He's resetting the cycle of the pillars.
Yeah, it's really, you don't, it doesn't really save time, but it just makes it more consistent, knowing exactly, when you need to jump, as opposed to sort of waiting and then trying to time it yourself. Yeah. This boss fight coming up here, the goal is to sort of trap the Rakshi here into a place where he can't really go anywhere else, and then shoot the platform out from under him. And so,
ideally you can kill him in like 2 or 3 moves, and it looks like he might be.
Yeah, it looks like it. There you go. Nice. That was a pretty fast kill.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. The fastest is, like he just goes to the corner straight away and then destroys the 2 pieces next.
Can we talk about how Lewa just pulled a Krana out of a Rakshi?
Yeah.
Okay, let's not talk about it.
That.
And we're actually about to start up another level with Tahu here, but this is going to be a pretty special one. Instead of, running around and grabbing Matoran and stuff, this is going to be another race level. And instead of snowboarding, we're going to be lava boarding, because heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'll be the first to say it though, this race sucks. Like this Rakshi can rubber band like super hard. I've had places where he just literally teleports in front of me. Like you can see him appear.
Yeah.
The game
what we're going to see Cowminn attempting here is to try to be as non-aggressive as possible when it comes to racing the Rakshi here. He's going to be trying not to hit the Rakshi. You can shoot him, but that increases the chances that he's going to, rubber band aggressively. And so throughout this entire level, it's really nerve-wracking, wondering if, is this all going to be ruined by the Rakshi deciding to just teleport right in front of me at the last minute? Because that has happened.
It has.
Yeah, if that does happen, that's a big time waster, because that's a lot of stuff you got to redo.
I've had it happen before in several runs, and it's pretty awful. Yeah, the race isn't too important until you get to the last third or so, and that's when he can do kind of like one of his infamous rubber bands. There's a certain point where he can just appear in front of you. So you basically just don't want to get too slowed down, and you don't want to go too fast until there. And then there's like a certain point where it's basically not recoverable either, so it's fun.
I also know this level is pretty infamous not only for runners of this game, but for people who have, attempted this game in the infamous GDQ meme race.
Oh yeah, man.
the-
People, I saw
this
someone
level-
say they're just over that. Like people were legitimately on this level for almost an hour.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was a GDQ that I was not at. I would have certainly participated in that race.
So Cowminn's getting close to the end here. There's a little bit left.
Yeah, and then
It's
after this,
a little scary. I think he can still do it, but
and then after this level is going to be the sort of final boss segment with Takanuva. Ooh, there goes the rock sheet. What are we gonna see here? Looks like he's pulled ahead, although this is neck and neck right now. And if
Okay, he
oh, he
made it.
got it. He got it.
that was
If
scary.
Yeah, if he had actually missed that, that would have actually hurt the race a ton. Cowminn and Sam. And now we have Cowminn moving into the final level of the game. This just a boss fight between Takanuva and Makuta.
Yeah, Makuta's gonna spawn a bunch of rocky creatures or whatever. You basically just have to kill them.
And we're seeing some really funny tech coming from Cowminn right now, where we are. So with Takanuva's elemental energy, elemental power, or whatever, however they call it in this game, increases very, very quickly, more so than any other character in the game by far. And what that means is that he never really has to worry about running out of elemental power. And what he can do is spam both the fire a blast button and the move forward button, and that allows him to actually skip or cancel the animation of firing off a blast when he moves forward and immediately fire off another blast. So effectively, Takanuva has a rapid fire elemental blast.
Yeah, it makes this fight a lot better once you learn how to do that. You just tap forward and it cancels the attack animation and you can see what it does.
Yeah, so he's just firing off, shot after shot after shot super fast.
One small thing in this level is you don't want to get hit by the Rahi's attacks, otherwise Makuta will laugh.
And that's
That wastes
that's
a few seconds.
especially, yeah, that's especially bad if it's like, at a point where, he has to complete that animation before moving on to the next part of the gauntlet.
But Cowminn's on to the second phase of Makuta. So, getting close to the end here.
Yeah,
We'll
this
let you
one-
know when.
Yeah, this one in particular, the idea is you're sort of like jumping on these platforms in sequence while the entire sort of battlefield is shifting around you.
Yeah, so basically you just have to jump on those like special rocks there, and that'll destroy Makuta's force fields. When he shoots a ball of energy at you, you reflect it back, and that's how you do damage to him. I think you have to do that 3 times. And as you go forward, he'll start knocking out some of these rocks, so there's less room for you to walk on. And also you don't want to stand on any of those rocks for too long, because otherwise they'll flip.
Yeah. At what point should we start getting ready on time here?
I'll tell you when to get ready for time. It's going to be on this last part. I got to hit him 3 times, and on the 3rd hit, it'll be time.
Okay. It'll show up a bit early on the video, but starting the timer was also a bit early, so it should be fine.
Okay, yeah, that was hit 1, so I got 2 more hits.
So get ready, Jimkin, with that.
Yes,
I'm excited.
This would be like 5 seconds right here.
So just one more time here.
All right. Time for Cowminn is 43 minutes 33 seconds.
Oh
Congratulations,
wow,
Cowminn.
that's 3 seconds off the world record, so that was really good.
That is
Very nice.
You're good.
GG.
Go, put that back up. No.
Cowminn.
Oh.
And Sam just missed the race by literally the closest ball.
Oh,
Oh no. That is really
so yeah.
um.
I can hop in for some commentary now.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sam, I don't know if you saw that. Literally the last Roxy was like barely ahead. Oh,
Is the game on? Did it crash again?
I think it also crashed as well.
Man, that's a
Oh
double
my
right there.
gosh.
All right, if you want to load Makuta, just
Yeah,
because like
honestly, save us something.
Yeah, we're not gonna make you do the lava race again.
Yeah, I don't think that's like torture.
lava race was one of the things that I would always dread whenever I was running this game.
One thing I do want to say is during Onua, when I reset after the crash, like my joystick was messed up, so like it was holding down the whole time. When I was moving forward, so it was moving really slow. So, like when I paused out of nowhere, I was just like resetting my controller.
Yeah, the reason like Sam was moving so slowly in Onua is like this controller's messed up, and so that's why he was missing all those jumps so many times because like his speed was literally not the max, so he couldn't make the jumps. Never even.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sam's gonna load into Makuta just so he can finish. Because essentially, we gotta give it to him.
Yeah, that was.
And obviously, crashing on this is it just happens. Like
That's 2 crashes I've never experienced in my life.
Yeah. And we're gonna
Marathon
want after this, we're gonna want to have Sam play through the final cutscene, correct?
oh yeah.
We gotta get that glorious voice acting in there.
I gotta go. Brad, thought I've also worked for a bit.
Yeah, what was my time again, guys?
43